Your looks and your age have shocked a lot of people because you have C. My beloved child, pause for just one quiet moment, because what you are about to hear may explain a mystery that has followed you for far longer than you realize. Have you ever noticed the way certain people look at you twice? Not because they recognize you, but because something about your presence refuses to match the number they imagine. They search your face for an explanation. They wonder how your appearance carries an energy that feels younger, calmer, wiser, or somehow beyond ordinary expectation. They may never say it aloud, yet their expressions reveal the question before their words ever do. That silent moment of surprise is not random. It is a reminder that what people see on the outside is only a small reflection of something much deeper that has been quietly growing within you. Stay with this thought, because the reason behind it is more meaningful than you may have ever imagined. There is something fascinating about the way time treats different people. Some seem to carry every passing season upon their shoulders, while others move through the years with a light that refuses to fade. This is not simply about appearance. It is about the atmosphere surrounding a person. Think about the moments when someone guessed your age and immediately corrected themselves after hearing the truth. Think about the pause, the disbelief, the smile that followed. Those reactions were never just about numbers. They were responses to an inner quality that cannot easily be measured. Your expression, your confidence, your quiet resilience, and the way you carry yourself create a story that people notice before they even understand why. And perhaps, without realizing it, you have been writing that story every single day. But here is the question very few people dare to ask. What if your appearance is not the real surprise? What if the true mystery is the journey that shaped it? Every challenge you overcame without giving up, every disappointment that taught you patience, every silent victory that no one applauded, all of these became invisible brushstrokes painting the person you are becoming. Most people only see the finished picture. They never witness the countless moments of courage hidden behind it. That is why they are shocked. They compare your outer image to a number, while life has been measuring you by something entirely different. The difference between those two measurements creates the mystery they cannot explain. Listen carefully, because this next thought changes everything. Imagine two clocks hanging on the same wall. Both measure time, yet neither tells the complete story of the person standing beneath them. One counts birthdays. The other counts growth. One records years. The other records wisdom, hope, determination, and the quiet decision to keep moving forward when life became uncertain. Most people live according to the first clock alone. They fear every passing year because they believe time only takes away. But those who understand the second clock discover something extraordinary. Every lesson learned adds a new kind of beauty that cannot be purchased, copied, or imitated. That beauty begins to appear in your eyes, your smile, your calmness, and even your silence. Perhaps this explains why strangers sometimes feel comfortable around you without knowing your story. Perhaps it explains why conversations with you often become deeper than expected. There is an invisible confidence that grows inside those who have walked through difficult seasons without allowing bitterness to become their identity. People sense that confidence even when they cannot describe it. They may simply call it youthful energy. They may call it elegance. They may call it good genetics or good fortune. Yet those labels barely touch the truth. The greatest transformations often happen where no one is watching, and by the time the world notices them, the work has already been completed. Now consider something even more surprising. Have you ever wondered why certain individuals become uncomfortable when they realize your real age? It is because your existence quietly challenges the stories they have been telling themselves. They have believed that passion fades with time, that dreams have an expiration date, or that confidence belongs only to the young. Then they meet someone like you. Suddenly those beliefs begin to crack. Without saying a single word, your presence becomes evidence that life does not always follow predictable patterns. Sometimes one person becomes a living reminder that possibilities are much greater than people expected. And whether they admit it or not, that reminder stays with them long after they leave. But don't rush ahead just yet, because the deepest part of this mystery has not even been revealed. The reactions you receive today are only the surface of a much larger picture that has been unfolding quietly around you. There is another reason your looks and your age continue to surprise people, and it has almost nothing to do with appearance itself. It is connected to something hidden beneath every smile, every conversation, and every unexpected compliment you have ever received. When that missing piece finally comes into focus, many moments from your past will suddenly make perfect sense. So stay close, because the next chapter uncovers the truth that very few people ever notice until it changes the way they see themselves forever. Before you decide you've already understood the whole picture, remain here for one more moment. Because the greatest revelation has never been hidden in your reflection, it has been quietly unfolding in the direction your life continues to take. This is where everything begins to connect. The surprised expressions, the unexpected compliments, the curious conversations, the moments when people paused after hearing your age, none of those were isolated events. They were small clues pointing toward a much larger truth. You have been becoming someone whose presence creates possibility. And that kind of influence cannot be measured by years alone. It is measured by the lives you encourage, the hope you awaken, and the confidence you quietly inspire without ever realizing it. Think about the people who entered your life unexpectedly. Some stayed only for a season, while others became unforgettable. Yet many of them had one thing in common. After meeting you, they began seeing themselves differently. Perhaps they started believing it was not too late to chase an old dream. Perhaps they stopped limiting themselves because of age, fear, or comparison. Perhaps they simply walked away feeling lighter than when they arrived. You may never know how many invisible turning points your words, your attitude, or even your quiet example created. The world often celebrates loud achievements, yet the deepest transformations begin in silence. A single encouraging conversation can echo through someone's future for years. A calm presence can become the reason another person refuses to give up. That is the kind of impact that never appears in headlines, yet it changes lives all the same. Now imagine looking at your own journey from a completely different angle. Instead of asking, "Why do people always seem surprised?" ask, "What are they actually recognizing?" The answer is extraordinary. They are recognizing consistency. They are recognizing resilience. They are recognizing someone who continued growing while many stopped believing growth was possible. They are recognizing a spirit that chose curiosity over cynicism, purpose over routine, and hope over hesitation. Those choices accumulate quietly over time until they become impossible to ignore. Long before people compliment your appearance, they have already sensed your outlook. Long before they ask your age, they have already felt your energy. The visible surprise is simply the final chapter of a story that has been unfolding beneath the surface for years. There is something else that deserves your attention. Every chapter of life offers two invitations. One invites you to become smaller, to settle, to believe that your best days belong to the past. The other invites you to keep expanding, to remain teachable, to welcome new experiences with open eyes and an open heart. Every day, whether consciously or not, you choose between those two invitations. And over time, those choices shape far more than your future. They shape your expression, your confidence, your conversations, and the atmosphere you carry into every room. People notice that atmosphere before they ever understand its source. It is why they leave conversations with you feeling inspired instead of exhausted. It is why they remember your presence long after the details of your words have faded. Perhaps the greatest surprise is this: your journey is still unfolding. The qualities that make people pause today are not the final version of who you are becoming. They are only the beginning. There are experiences still waiting to strengthen your wisdom. There are opportunities waiting to reveal abilities you have not fully discovered. There are connections that will appear exactly when your perspective is ready for them. The future has a remarkable way of rewarding those who continue preparing even when no audience is watching. Quiet effort has a delayed echo, but when it returns, it often arrives in ways no one could have predicted. So never allow someone else's expectations to define the pace of your story. The calendar measures time, but it does not measure possibility. The number attached to your age tells people how many years you have lived. It does not tell them how much courage you have gathered, how much kindness you have shared, or how many dreams still remain ahead of you. Those chapters are still unwritten. Every sunrise offers another page, another chance to grow into someone even stronger, wiser, and more inspiring than yesterday. As this chapter comes to a close, remember one simple truth: the real reason people are amazed is not because you seem younger or older than they expected. It is because you quietly remind them that growth has no expiration date, purpose has no deadline, and hope never loses its power. Your appearance may capture attention for a moment, but your mindset is what leaves a lasting impression. And perhaps that is the most beautiful surprise of all. Long after people forget the number you shared, they will remember how you made them feel, encouraged, uplifted, and reminded that their own story is far from over. Sometimes the greatest gift we give the world is not perfection, but the living example that it is always possible to keep becoming a better version of ourselves. Before this journey ends, there is one last realization that deserves your attention. Close your eyes for just a moment and imagine meeting the future version of yourself. Not someone who looks completely different, but someone who has continued choosing growth, patience, courage, and purpose every single day. What would that future version say to you? Perhaps the answer would be surprisingly simple: thank you for not allowing temporary opinions to become permanent limits. Every meaningful life reaches a moment where appearances stop being the focus and character becomes the legacy. That moment does not arrive all at once. It is built quietly through thousands of ordinary decisions. Every time you choose integrity instead of shortcuts. Every time you remain hopeful when circumstances invite doubt, every time you encourage another person instead of competing with them, you are creating a version of yourself that time can only strengthen. The years do not erase those qualities, they reveal them more clearly. People often spend so much energy trying to look impressive that they forget to become impressive. Yet the individuals who leave the deepest mark on the world rarely chase attention. They chase excellence. They chase wisdom. They chase understanding. Ironically, those who stop searching for constant approval often become the very people others admire the most. There is a quiet confidence in knowing who you are without needing everyone else to confirm it. That confidence becomes visible in your smile, your conversations, your decisions, and even in the peaceful way you carry yourself through uncertain moments. Perhaps that explains why your journey continues surprising people. They expect confidence to come from perfect circumstances, but yours has been shaped by experience. They expect peace to appear only when life is easy, yet yours has grown through challenges. They expect joy to depend on age, status, or appearance, but yours comes from something much deeper. That difference is impossible to imitate because it has been earned one day at a time. As you move into the days ahead, don't ask whether the world is noticing you enough. Ask a better question. Am I becoming the person I truly want to be? That single question has the power to transform every decision you make. It shifts your attention away from comparison and toward purpose. It reminds you that your greatest competition is not another person, it is the version of yourself from yesterday. Every small improvement matters. Every lesson matters. Every act of kindness matters. Those are the building blocks of a life that continues inspiring others long after first impressions have disappeared. And if today's message has stayed with you until this very moment, perhaps it arrived exactly when you needed it. Maybe this wasn't simply about looks or age after all. Maybe it was an invitation to stop underestimating the quiet progress you've already made. Sometimes we become so focused on the distance ahead that we forget to appreciate how far we've already traveled. Take a moment today to recognize your own growth. Celebrate the resilience that carried you through difficult seasons. Honor the wisdom you've gained along the way. Those victories deserve your attention. As this story reaches its final page, remember one lasting truth: the world may first notice your appearance, but it will always remember your character. People may be surprised by your age, but they will be inspired by your mindset. They may admire the way you look today, yet what truly changes lives is the hope, strength, and authenticity you leave behind wherever you go. So keep walking your path with quiet confidence. Keep welcoming each new season with curiosity instead of fear. Keep believing that your next chapter can be greater than your last. Because the most extraordinary stories are never written by people who stopped growing. They are written by those who continued becoming their best selves, one day, one choice, and one meaningful step at a time. Until our paths cross again, remember this: your greatest feature has never been your reflection. It has always been the light of purpose, resilience, and possibility that shines through everything you do. And that kind of beauty doesn't fade with time, it becomes even more remarkable with every new chapter you choose to write. There's one final scene I want you to imagine before we truly say goodbye. Picture yourself years from now, looking back at this season of your life. You won't be counting compliments. You won't be remembering the surprised faces or the conversations about your age. Instead, you'll remember the day you stopped letting other people's expectations define your identity. That decision, quiet, almost invisible in the moment, will become one of the most important turning points in your entire journey. Life has a remarkable way of rewarding those who remain faithful to their own growth. Not instantly. Not dramatically. But consistently. Day after day, small improvements begin to compound into extraordinary outcomes. The confidence you build today becomes tomorrow's opportunity. The wisdom you gain through experience becomes someone else's encouragement. The kindness you choose during difficult moments becomes the reason another person believes the world still has good people in it. These are the victories that never fade with time. Perhaps that is why people continue feeling surprised when they meet you. They expect someone who has simply collected years, yet they encounter someone who has collected lessons. They expect someone who has merely grown older, yet they meet someone who has continued growing stronger. Those are two very different journeys. Anyone can watch the calendar change, but not everyone chooses to let each season make them wiser, more patient, and more compassionate. That choice is what quietly sets you apart. Always remember that comparison steals moments you can never get back. There will always be someone younger, someone older, someone faster, someone more experienced. But there will never be another person with your exact story, your unique perspective, or your ability to inspire through your own experiences. Your path was never designed to imitate another life. It was designed to reveal the best version of your own. The moment you embrace that truth, you stop competing with the world and start cooperating with your purpose. As you continue writing the chapters ahead, don't wait for perfect circumstances before believing in yourself. Great opportunities often arrive disguised as ordinary days. The conversation that changes your future may begin with a simple greeting. The idea that transforms your direction may appear during an ordinary morning. The person who reminds you of your own potential may enter your life when you least expect it. Stay open. Stay curious. Stay willing to welcome the unexpected, because possibility often whispers before it announces itself. And whenever doubt quietly asks whether your best years are behind you, answer with action instead of fear. Learn something new. Encourage someone. Begin that project you've been postponing. Take one meaningful step toward the future you've imagined. Progress is rarely built through giant leaps. It grows through consistent choices that seem small today but become extraordinary tomorrow. If you've stayed until this very final moment, thank you for sharing this journey. If these words encouraged you, consider sharing this message with someone who might need the same reminder today. And if you'd like to continue exploring stories that inspire confidence, purpose, and personal growth, you're always welcome to return for the next conversation. Leave today carrying this simple truth in your heart: your age tells the world how long you've been alive, but your mindset tells the world how fully you've chosen to live. Your appearance may catch someone's attention for a moment, but your character has the power to remain in their memory for years. Keep choosing growth over comfort, purpose over pressure, and hope over hesitation. Because your story is still unfolding, your greatest chapters are still ahead, and the most unforgettable version of you is not the one people see today, it's the one you continue becoming with every new sunrise.